So I usually visit a lot of galleries at one particular time, one after the other, because it's just easier, but I was lucky enough to be invited to the preview of Arcmanoro Nile's exhibit at Lehmann Maupin in Chelsea. So this will be the only exhibit that I'm showing you in Chelsea, and then I'll take you along with me to Tribeca to see some more exhibits. I love the title of this exhibit. It's Hey Tomorrow, Do You Have Some Room for Me? Failure is a Part of Being Alive. And honestly, it perfectly describes what this exhibit is about, which is how the perceived failures that we experience during the course of our lives are what make us human. And the artist himself is quoted as saying, all of these moments in life that people look at as failures are just part of growing up and can actually open new doors and lead to new phases in life. And when I look back at my own experiences, they aren't really failures at all. I couldn't agree with this more. Like, honestly, when I've experienced failure in my life, it's what's caused me to grow and change the most, and it is usually always for the better. In case you've never experienced Arcmanoro Nile's work before, I'll point out some of the things that make his works instantly recognizable as his own. So as you can see here, Niles is really known for using bright colors in his works, as well as glitter, particularly glitter hair, for example. And he also creates a glow when painting his portrait skin tone, and he does this in an attempt to sort of capture the true essence and diversity that can be found in black skin. And his subject matter usually falls within the realm of friends and family, just carrying out everyday activities, with the exception of some empty scenes that he's created for this exhibit where the figure is absent and just the setting remains, almost as sort of a ghost. Another signature of Nile's work is a figure that he's coined as a seeker. And you can spot these little figures sort of hiding in the corners of Nile's work. And he's quoted as saying that seekers are more impulsive, chasing whatever they think will make them happy at that moment, with no fear or consequence, while the human subjects are more vulnerable and open to their feelings. So here's an example of one right here on the left, sort of like crudely painted out. Try to keep an eye out for them in each of the works. Let me know how many you see. Honestly, it was so great to see his work again in person. This is the first exhibit since the announcement that Lehmann Maupin Gallery would be representing him, so it was great to be back, see him in person, see the paintings in person, and yeah, they're better than ever. We're now in Tribeca, a little bit south of Chelsea, where our first stop will be Freight and Volume Gallery to see works by Natalie Westbrook. And Westbrook is actually a current professor at Carnegie Mellon University, and she also used to teach painting at Yale, so she's got quite an impressive resume. But I found her works actually to be very similar to kind of the likes of a Robert Nava, because her works have this sort of craftsman-like ambiguity. And I really love her diverse use of materials to create all of these, shapes and textures. She uses oil and acrylic paints, oil sticks, spray paints, and probably more. The title of the exhibit is Surface Tension, and the title is referencing how the physical canvas kind of brings out all the elements of the painting together and relates them to one another, no matter how different they are. And this could be in reference to the variety of materials, like I just said, but also the subject matter that she paints, such as like leopards or vegetation. And do they make sense together? Not really, but honestly the way in which they're presented on the canvas creates balance that really works visually despite the tension and almost juxtaposition, if you will. The next stop is to the Hole's Tribeca location to see an exhibit of works by Pedro titled Cantaloupe and Kokomo. And this exhibit actually features 8 new paintings full of fruit, flower, and just overall sort of tropical fantasy. And this makes a lot of sense considering that Pedro is an LA-based artist. But the thing I think which you can spot right away, and honestly one of the things that I love most about the Hole, is how they just completely transform their gallery spaces for each exhibit. And for this one, they went for a space that was inspired by a finished basement from the 70s. My grandma totally had one. I don't know about you. Maybe you still have one. If you do, you'll feel right at home. But in general, the wood grain wall was meant to kind of complement the wood grains that are present in the paintings. And another interesting thing about Pedro in general as an artist is that he has a really interesting technique where he applies paint directly onto unprimed canvas. So the paint sinks in and almost dyes the fabric. And the subject matter of his work includes objects found around the home, and more specifically the artist's home. And he kind of purposely juxtaposes objects in order to make a statement about how, the sweet is not so sweet without the sour. That's what the gallery quoted it as. So, for example, he'll combine soft, fresh melons being stabbed by a sharp knife, or a delicious, perfectly looking avocado next to a stack of messy plates. So now we've headed over to the basement, or the lower level, of Andrew Kreps' gallery to see a project titled The Fastest Boy in the World. And this is by an artist, Aran. And Yuri's known for investigating how our daily behaviors are used to create and assign meaning. And his works, as you can see, really range across a wide variety of mediums like sculpture and film and performance and drawing and painting. And Yuri takes objects like photographs or handwritten memos and incorporates them into his works. almost using them as inspiration to visualize how we as humans have emotional responses to things. Alright, I apologize ahead of time for the lighting. Canada Gallery has a very strange sort of overhead lighting, like even in person, but disclaimer, it is exaggerated in videos and photos. I'm not sure why, but this is an exhibit of works by Jason Fox titled 5 Seasons. And the title has multiple meanings. It is representative of a number of things, such as potentially the lifespan of a TV show or a 5th season, winter, spring, fall, due to global warming. But also this painting actually by Jasper Johns, The Seasons, is also inspiration as well. And these paintings are unique in the sense that, like, as you first look at them, you kind of see your standard figure, but as you look closer, you see these creatures emerging from them, or honestly, maybe it's vice versa. And the size and the composition of these works, the very tall and skinny vertical layout, is actually a nod to royal court portraiture. And this is significant because although the individuals captured here aren't royals from history, they're royals from popular culture, which we know as celebrities. And Fox has actually painted in these figures George Harrison, Jennifer Lawrence, Bob Marley, Joni Mitchell. So overall, we think, like, what is the meaning behind these strange works? And it's because Fox has a disdain for American power structures, and this has especially increased thanks to American politics over the last 5 years. And it's almost like he's saying, what can I believe? Like, who can I trust? And Canada Gallery says that Fox manages to simultaneously hold up a mirror to and critique our times, pointing at the crazy excess and empty mythologies that animate American culture today. Next stop is Luhring Augustine Gallery to see 15 paintings by Sanya Kantarovsky. And Sanya is a Russian artist who's known for creating figurative paintings that are filled with dark humor. And these paintings are figures that Sanya has created purely from his imagination. And I really love the personality that he injects into each and every one of them. I'll try to give you an up close of each one. So we're gonna end the day at another basement. This one is in Nicelle Beauchene's lower level gallery space and viewing room. And this is an exhibit by Ruby Sky Stiler of weavings that she's created from the pages of art and design, history, and just like how-to books in her studio. And she uses these as resources or source materials for references in her works, and she's carefully cut out the pages and sort of weaved them together into these intricate pieces that you see. As always, thanks for coming along with me, and as something new, well, first of all, please subscribe if you haven't already. It'll keep you up to date for when I'm putting out new videos and just give you a little notification. And then secondly, let me know of any exhibits that you've really enjoyed recently, whether that be through a website, Instagram, or in person, because I would love to visit them if they are NY based, but that would be great. Let me know what you guys are checking out. See you next time.